Right, hello class 2. So what I'm going to do today is just read through the English PowerPoint. And this is just a narration, it's not like the maths ones where I'm going through the examples. This is just for those of you who maybe find the reading a little bit tricky and haven't got an adult at home who's available to help you. They might be working, it might be that you have other siblings at home who they need to help. This is just a read through of it, okay? Now what I would do is I would open up the presentation, I would then start this video and then press the minimize symbol for the video, the one that looks like this. Minimize it, hopefully the voice will still be going. If it's not, you can just make the screen smaller by clicking on a corner and dragging it smaller so that this is still playing, and you can go through the presentation as well as I read it, and I will tell you when I'm moving on to the next slide and which colour box I'm talking about. Okay, so you will be able to pause the video and go through the presentation, and hopefully this will help any of you who don't have that adult at home to go through this with you. So, to start with, when you first open it up, the first slide says reading. And the idea is that we spend about 20 minutes on this, but it may take you more or less time, and that's fine. So, to start this term off, we will be reading The Worm's Tooth Crown. Today we will be reading chapter 6. If you haven't read any of the other chapters, I would have a go at those first. Okay. So I've uploaded a copy of the book to the website that you can download, pause this video and give that chapter a read, chapter 6. But if you prefer, you can also listen to the chapter. So you need to go type into Google, Twinkle, go, sign in, and that will bring up a login box. And you then need to type in the PIN code WV4695, and that will take you to somebody reading the chapter for you. Okay, so you can pause the video, replay it to write down that code and website, and then look at that. Okay, and I'm now moving on to slide 3, which says, now answer these questions. And you could just talk about your answer with someone at home, or write your answer in your learning journey book. And the first question is giving away some of the treasure a fair price to pay for safety and freedom? So pause the presentation, have a look. The second question says, have you ever entered somewhere you know you shouldn't? Again, pause the video, have a go answering that question. So that's the end of reading, so we're now moving on to spelling, which would only be about 10 minutes, maybe a bit less. If it's taking you longer, I would just move on. So this week we'll be recapping the rules for adding vowel suffixes. Suffixes are where letters are added to the end of a word. Vowels are the letters A, E, I, O, U. All the other letters in the alphabet are called consonants. Vowel suffixes are suffixes that begin with a vowel letter. And in the blue box at the bottom of slide 5, it says, this BBC bite-sized video may help you to remember what vowels are. So if you click the blue link in that blue box on slide 5, it will take you to a page with a video on it that will go through what vowels are. And there's no adverts on that because it is a BBC bite-sized video. So moving on to slide 6. And it says, for today, we will recap vowels and consonants. Use your finger to follow the trail of vowels through the maze, or if an adult at home says you can, you could print the page. So, it says, for the question, if you look at the maze on the right-hand side of the page, Guster the dragon has lost his mother. Can you help him make his way through the maze by following the trail of vowels? You can go up, down, left or right. That means no diagonals. So use your finger to follow the trail through. Pause it and have a go. If you're feeling extra confident, you could do the bonus in the green box, which says usually every word has at least one vowel in it. Can you think of any words with no vowels? And hint, what sounds can Y make? Okay, moving on to slide 7. Which has the answer on it, so you can have a look, is that what you got or did you make a mistake? And if you had a go at the bonus questions, You want words that might have a Y in it, making the I sound, but no other vowel. So like cry, try, fly, gym, myth, rhythm. Any words like that. Okay. So, remember you can pause the video at any point to go through the slide more carefully. So that is the end of spelling for today, and we're going to move on to punctuation and grammar. So this week we are going to recap paragraphs. Paragraphs are a group of sentences about one main idea. For today, watch these videos to help you remember what paragraphs are. So on slide 9, in the yellow box are 2 links to websites that will help you about paragraphs, and they're little videos. The first one is a BBC bite-sized video, so there will definitely be no adverts. The second video is very good, but it is on YouTube, so you need to ask an adult first because it may have adverts. Okay, so pause the video and have a look at those. Right, so moving on to slide 10. That is the end of our punctuation and grammar, and we are now on writing, which should take you a little bit longer, maybe about 20 minutes. So this week we are going to finish writing your fact files about your dragon. And I'm very excited to find out about your dragons. If you didn't do last week's lessons for any reason, email me so I can send them to you. Okay? So the yellow box says, today we will be writing some ideas to describe our dragon's habitat, which means where it lives. You may wish to quickly read through what you wrote last week to remind yourself. Remember to look at your plan from Tuesday last week, where you wrote down where you thought your dragon would live. So moving on to slide 12. First, write down some nouns, things that are in your dragon's habitat. Now, just underneath that blue box I've just read is a link to a YouTube site, and on there is a song about nouns. So if you can't remember what they are, and you've checked with an adult because there might be adverts, then you can click on that link to recap what nouns are. But nouns are the people, places, things. Okay? So, next box. I have done some examples for you. You could borrow those if you wish to, but you may have a very different habitat to mine. So on this slide you can see I've done a picture of, I've decided to go with an ice dragon. Okay? And that picture is similar to what I imagine in my head, but your dragon may be very, very different to mine. So in the green box, I've come up with some nouns, some things that are in the habitat where my dragon lives. So mountains, ice, snow, clouds. You don't need loads, you just need some. And then the pink box, it says, remember these are not sentences, so you do not need a capital letter or full stop. These are just words at this point, just nouns. Now, moving on to slide 13, once you've done that and you've come up with your nouns, the second thing to do is to expand our nouns with adjectives, the describing words, and prepositions, mostly words that tell us where, and to make noun phrases. And in the yellow box are some excellent songs on YouTube. These songs are excellent, but may have adverts. So you're on YouTube, may have adverts, but the first one is on prepositions, the second one on adjectives. Remember, ask an adult first because they may have adverts. Now, these are noun phrases, not full sentences today. So in the pink box is another reminder. Remember, these are not sentences, so do not need a full stop or capital letter. And in the green box are some examples that I've done for my dragon. So on the last page I came up with the noun mountains. I've now added some adjectives, going adjective, comma, adjective, noun. Describing word, comma, describing word, thing. Okay, so I've added to my noun mountains, pointy, comma, ice-capped mountains. And then I've expanded it further, going fluffy white clouds above the pointy, ice-capped mountains. Okay, so you can have a look at your nouns and add to them, add some description. What type of mountains are they? Maybe you've got an arid desert and you need to describe the sand or how hot the air is. Think about it. Where does your dragon live? And do some description phrases. Okay. Right, well I look forward to hearing all about your dragons, and I will see you next time.